Hey guys, it's onesmartfro, also known as GINAMARIE, and today I am going to be doing one of those videos that I talked about in my introducing the new brand onesmartfro. And so this video is going to be a twist and talk. I just washed my hair and I am going to be twisting my hair up now, getting ready for the week to go to work. But I will be featuring, kind of like my washing styles, I will try to feature some new products, not necessarily all the time because I don't all the time have new products, but a lot of times I pick up products and I don't actually pick up their whole line, and this keeps me from having to like wait to do reviews and stuff like that when I do my washing style. And then sometimes they just don't come out with a whole line. So I'm using the Miel's pomegranate and honey leave-in conditioner. This is the newest product from them. So I have the pomegranate leave-in conditioner. I also have their twisting souffle, and then I also have their curling cluster. And I am going to be using all three of these because I have used just the twisting cluster and the leave-in conditioner, and I felt like my hair wasn't as moisturized as it could be. And I have used the curling cluster because I tried to do a wash and go with the curling cluster. Knowing dang well my hair does not do wash and goes well with clusters, but my hair felt very moisturized with the cluster. So I think this cluster will work as a nice sealant, and so I'm going to use this to seal my hair because the definition that I got with these two were bomb. I wanted it to last a little bit longer, so I am going to pair that with that. I posted on Twitter, what did you guys want my first video to be about? And hands down, from comments, from Snapchat, from Instagram, and from Twitter, you guys wanted me to talk more about law school. So obviously there's a ton of things that I could talk about in law school. So this video, we're going to just focus on getting into law school, because one thing you'll learn is that you can go to law school with any type of major. For some reason, a lot of people think that you have to be a poli-sci major. Like at my law school, a lot of people were poli-sci majors, but you don't. Law school tends to have people who are engineers, people who have accounting degrees, people who were nursing school, things like that. So as long as you have a bachelor's degree, that is the first requirement that you need to like get into law school. And so it doesn't matter. I highly suggest that you do something. Like, I wouldn't major in like pre-law or anything like that. I know there's some schools who like you can do a pre-law program and it's supposed to get you ready. I personally, just from my experience and looking and learning and noticing that people who tend to have different backgrounds when it comes to their degrees tend to do a lot, not tend to do better in law school, but I feel like they have a lot more options. So like if get your bachelor's degree in engineering and then you get into law school and all of a sudden you want to do patent, I feel like it makes you a lot more attractive to employers, because it's like you have that background and it just makes you more appealing. It gives you options to explain yourself that you can do other things, maybe not necessarily that law school can teach you. And so I wouldn't necessarily focus on just like being a poli-sci major or being, you know, having to take, like I never took one pre-law program or anything. And I would suggest your junior year to start studying and take the LSAT. I feel like that is the best year to start doing it, just because it gives you wiggle room if you don't end up making that score that you want to get into the schools that you want. Now, I personally, when I took the LSAT, I didn't know anybody who went to law school. I didn't know that there were LSAT prep classes to help you prepare for the LSAT that could, you know, that people could benefit from it. I didn't know anything about that, so I kind of just studied on my own, and I ordered some books from the LSAT.org website. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I do know that had I known about these prep classes, that I would have took a prep and I would have got a way better score than I did on the LSAT, but things happen for a reason. You live and you learn, and I still end up getting into law school with the LSAT score that I had. So I would suggest, if you've taken the LSAT, to look at the schools that you want to get into, figure out what's their average medium score for the LSAT so you have an idea on what you need to score to get into the school that you want. That still does not necessarily mean that you will get into that program, but it'll give you an idea and a goal to shoot for. And then I will also suggest that you keep a high GPA, because while they look at your LSAT score, they also look at your GPA in undergrad. I will be in organizations and things like that because they also look at that. So I would definitely do that. And then when you take the LSAT, if you don't pass it the first time or you don't get the score that you want, don't get discouraged. I mean, there's a law school for everybody. It just may not be that law school that you dreamt about. So after you've taken the LSAT, and during this time while you're studying for the LSAT, like all this should be taking place like your junior year of college. I would suggest that you make a list of law schools that you would like to go to. In that list, I will include law schools that you really want to get into, like your top law schools that you really want to get into. It might be hard, but that's the law school that you want to go to. I would include law schools that I know I can get into just in case I don't get into those schools. And then I will also use the opportunity to include schools in areas and places that you always kind of wanted to go live in for a little bit but wasn't quite sure. I would include those just so it can give you an opportunity to see other things and experience other things, so that at the end of the day it's just for 3-4 years depending on the program that you're in. And then when making your list, like I said, think about places that you always wanted to visit. Think about, do you really want to pay out-of-state tuition? Especially if you're paying for it yourself, whether you're taking out loans or things like that, then you already know that it's going to be a lot more expensive than if you go in-state. So definitely think about the money. Money was a big factor when it came to me. I knew I didn't want to have a huge, like my student debt is already huge, and it's huge because of law school alone. And so I knew that I didn't want to make it even bigger by going to these fancy law schools, because I knew at the end of the day, all roads led to the same thing, and that was whether or not you can pass the bar exam. And so money was a huge factor. I also knew when choosing the law school that I wanted to go to a Black law school, and so that was a huge factor in helping me make my decision. Okay, so I'm like halfway. I got one more piece from this part, and then I gotta twist up the rest of my hair. But I sliced my finger off this morning, pretty much cooking breakfast. And when I tell you, it is very painful trying to twist up my hair. Well, the good thing about applying to law school is that you can pretty much do it all on the LSAT website. I think you upload, if I can remember correctly when I did it, which was about 4 years ago, you upload, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you pretty much upload everything through the LSAT site. And so you upload your application, you upload your personal statement, your letters of recommendation, your LSAT score is automatically saved. And so you literally just fill out the application and kind of just hit send, and then you're completely done. So that definitely makes it easier. When it comes to your personal statement, I would definitely do a good job in writing those. Those are definitely really important. If you guys want me to make a separate video about what you should include in your personal statement and stuff like that, definitely let me know, and I can definitely do that for you guys. I gotta remember what I talked about, so I can't just tell you guys right now because I don't remember what I talked about in my personal statement. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Getting into law school is definitely easier than it may seem. The hardest part is just making sure you get into this law school that you want to get into, and then it kind of can be discouraging when you don't get into those schools. But just because you don't get into those schools does not mean that there's not a law school for you. And that's why I said just make a list of 10, just because I feel like it will give you more options, and it will open your eyes more to, just in case that plan A does not work, you have a plan B. So I'm going to finish twisting up my hair because obviously this hairstyle that I am doing is going to take a lot longer than my talking would have. So I'm just going to finish up my hair. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any specific topics that you would like for me to talk about in my next talk and twist, then make sure you leave them down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up, and I will see you guys in my next video.